Now, the festive season is here again, and across Nigeria, families are celebrating with all the joy and fanfare that comes with this special time of the year. From 30 December to New Year celebrations, the festive period often tempts people into overspending, which can lead to post-holiday regrets. Some even resort to loans or run down their savings completely just to keep up with the demands of the season. All right, joining me now in the studio to talk about how you can manage your finances during the festive season is Dr. Yushew Aliyu, an economist. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, Doc, from your experience working with Nigerians across different income levels, what would you say are the biggest financial mistakes people make during the festive period?
Before you think of a financial mistake, the first thing you look at individual choices, because in economics, every consumer makes a choice, and no choice you make without a cost. And these choices at different times has to do with your income. And if you have your income, the modern economy requires that you understand your income. Not only understanding your income, you also understand the cost of your choices in consumption. Not only understanding the choices you make in consumption, but also you look at the prices at which you are consuming at the particular time. Most of the consumers and this associated with festive seasons is that they have a long plan. So most of this long plan has to do with what an individual has decided to make, and in some cases, because of the advent of many different aggressive advertisement, you come in contact with another several bundles of goods. So that is when individuals make mistake without considering the income, without considering the cost of the item to consume, without also considering the period at which you are spending, and at the same time also the challenges that follows the immediate spending and also the immediate consumption of goods at a particular season.
Many Nigerians have already started feeling the pressure. There is December salary to manage, children's school fees in January, family expectations, and of course, the rising cost of some food items. Where should someone even begin when trying to plan their finances for this period?
The first thing to do is to try as much as possible to be financially literate, because it's not just being literate that will allow you to understand what to do with your income. What is normally happening to individual consumer is that they know current challenges, and every current challenge has a current value, and every current value has a current expenses. So in determining what to be done, like I told you, a lot of families have to plan that if my income status is A, and I need 1, 2, 3, or 4 bundles of choices to make, then it is important to understand the time, the scope. Not only understanding the time and the scope, you also understand the commitment that is ahead of you. These are very significant when an individual understands the income, understand the choices, understand the challenges, understand the anticipated value of all these commitments. This will greatly influence satisfaction that is derived from spending your income at the right time.
Okay, now let's be a little bit more realistic. For the average Nigerian worker, perhaps someone earning between 100,000 to 200,000 naira monthly, what realistic strategies would you recommend for managing festival expenses while still meeting their regular obligations?
I think before we go to an individual that is even having 100,000 naira monthly, there are a lot of autonomous consumers which are higher in number, who doesn't even have an income. These are the challenges. And in African society, you also have to understand the relationship between autonomous consumer and the effective consumers, those that have income. So if you have limited income that you are always looking to have at a particular time, then definitely your budget should include not only spending on items that you require, but also keeping certain percentage, no matter how small, to take care of exigencies. These are what is required in managing household economy. And not only managing household economy. Remember that the size of the GDP of a state is always attached to individual spendings with different incomes at different structures of the economy. No spending that is not significant to GDP, because the monetary value of all goods and services within an economy. Let me give you an instance. For instance, a lady may choose to do her hair for Christmas. If you choose to have a hair for Christmas and it can take you to New Year, there is no need to add additional spending to have additional hair for December. These are the things that literally all individual consumers must be aware, and also to look at the challenges of not having that income. 100,000 can be an income, but it's not sufficient. But if it is efficiently utilized, can make an individual life to be more honorable and more satisfactory.
All right, we've seen many Nigerians turn to loans, credit facilities, or even borrowing from family and friends just to meet up during festivities. What's your advice on this, sir? No, and when, if at all, is borrowing is even acceptable during this period?
No, you see, borrowing is an alternative to income with a different classification. If society has to manage inflation, society has to control liquidity. If liquidity is to be controlled by the monetary policy authorities, individual consumer who is surrounded by boundaries of opportunities has to also be controlled, because even under the context of having a standard good living, you have to understand that you can do better if there is no any financial responsibility that is on credit attached to your life. If you understand that you can manage 100,000 without taking 10,000 loan, it's even better for you than to spend 100,000, then add 10,000 loan with interest. The interest can be also compound, and if it is compound, the drastic reduction in your income is likely to happen. And people don't know that the more you take loan facilities because of digital platform, the worse your life is becoming. Because if you take 3 different loan commitments from different digital platforms, you are servicing with an interest, and that compound interest can be equal to your monthly income. So you realize that you are living at the expense of somebody's pleasure.
All right, suppose someone has already overspent this season. As a management consultant, what recovery strategies would you recommend, such as rebuilding emergency funds or adjusting monthly budgets in the new year?
If you extra spend, you have to create an extra source of income. That is the only way you can recover. Because if you have a single income and you overspend, and then the liabilities will continue to follow in the next 6 to 10 months, then definitely your life is going to be worse off. So the best alternative is, once you know that you have the power of overspending, also you have to create the psychology that I have to also be creative enough to create additional source of income within your environment, and they are all available.
Fantastic. Dr. Yushewu Aliyu, it was a pleasure having you on Business Express.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.